Okay, guys, got a bit of time on my hands, so I thought I might just throw a few out at Burnie. Um, it's one of those tracks where it's always a little bit tricky, as it certain horses handle it and others don't. Um, does tend to suit the tough one pace type of horses, race on speed and grind away. So I've set on a couple of those. It's also one of those tracks, because of the primarily standing starts, that it's very difficult to declare any, because obviously in stands, if you lead around Burnie, the complexion of the race can change completely, so not a track to go overboard on. But the first one that I've settled on is actually in race 2, and it's in the form of number 5, Sign of a Time. Like a couple of months ago, he'd be the world's living certainty in this race. Past few have been terrible. He was a little bit better at Scottsdale last time, so got it here. Now, it wasn't a brilliant...
Your starts yet to be played.
So the one thing you're taking, even though he's off the front, he draws the third row of the front row, if that makes sense. So he's really started off like a 12-15 metre handicap. Here he is here, the big horse. He's on the third row. So by the time they settle, he might as well have started off a 30 metre handicap. And he's not the type of sit and sprint horse either. He's a bit of a tough one pace grinder. So, and he works to the lines in the red colours here. So we'll just go the last 100 metres or so. So he's out wide. You can just see he keeps coming to the line. He's almost out in the pie stand. You can see he's strong late. And the one thing about this race is, I was just looking at the early market, and my God, I said 365 is never the greatest indicator, but you know, $7 against these, unbelievable. Like, in my mind, the two, Sign of a Time and Laid Back Kenny, are the two top picks in the race. They've got a couple of 3-year-old fillies. It's first and second favourite, Class Charles and Mod-Ad Naiad, and that's fine. But if we just have a look at the form, you know, Class Charles probably leads, but you know, like, never raced past a mile. This is 2180 metres. It's not going to get it easy. He's going to have Sign of a Time outside it. Trial was okay, but you know, do have my doubts about the 3-year-old fillies form as well, with the exception of Ideal Bliss. And can't think of the other horse, but so yeah, this thing is huge queries on the 3-year-old fillies form. Mod-Ad Naiad, like, she looked promising type. She looked like she had a bit of speed and not much stamina as a 2-year-old, and you know, if you know, furnished out a little bit, might be a big improver this time in. But crikey, at the odds, and you know, like, I just think if you back Sign of a Time, save Laid Back Kenny, you'll be fine in the race. So if we look at Sign of a Time's form, you know, some of the horses, you know, if we go back, he got beaten a fair one, 157 dead. This is only, what, 7 or 8 weeks ago in Launceston, just waiting for it to pop up. But you can see here, Samuel Rev won it. You know, Crafty Boy, Volkovalese ran second to that superstar on Friday night. And Sign of a Time actually started second favourite in this race. You know, they got 157 dead. It turned into a fence-dominated race. Yep, so, you know, prior to that, like, he death-seeded in 159, you know, 159. You know, so, and you can see that when Rowan Hillier has driven him, his record's pretty good, like beating 3 metres at Scottsdale, 5 metres at Hobart, 0.7 of a metre in Launceston. Like, you know, pretty keen. And there's the other thing I mentioned, it's the only mobile event on the card as well, so I can probably bet with a bit more confidence. So very happy to be on. Get anywhere near that price, I'll be all over it. Let's just hope the other bookies follow a little bit. The other one that I'm keen on's in the 7th, and it's the old timer, not old timer, but Union Force. He goes around virtually every week. We just have a look at him. Like, I think last season, here we go, last season, 59 starts. I think we only have about 70 meetings, so he's probably competed in more meetings than I actually bet on. So, and like his past few, he drew 11 in a mile race in Hobart the other day, settled like 6 back the fence and virtually had a trial. The one issue with him is that stand-start manners are pretty average. But if he does step, he'll be straight off around them, and I expect him to find the front if he does. And he just keeps whacking away at the 1 speed. So, and if that's the case, I think Jack Elijah's the only danger. Good sit sprint type, went well at Burnie there previously, beaten ahead by Carla's Heaven, and was held up back on the inside the other day in Hobart. So do think one of that duo win the race. Probably Union Force if you just have your eyes closed at the start. If he steps, might just go and have a sort of quick look at it. Computer's just going out very slowly today, so here we go here. Wears black colours. You can see the colours here.
155, feeling dusty.
Oops, that's the mile race. So we'll just go to Scottsdale where
2.5.
He has begun. There he is, galloping out the back. And he does miss it about 20 metres behind that group as well. You see, as soon as he's chased and tacked on and comes straight around them, you've seen pop. So he works all the way. So he's outside the leader, he's having a good old crack for the front. Doesn't get there. So he's done a mountain of work. Remember, like a lap before here, he was 20 metres off the second last horse. Gets kept off the inside here. I think if he steps, he'll find the front tonight. So you can see, obviously, Buster Williams just a different league to these. He was long odds on, and this horse has beaten Usain Jolt. So, and like he's dead on his feet. There's a few back on the inside here that get held up, like Shadow Storm, I think it is, and can't think of the name of this horse. Flash Anatomy in the pinky colours. No luck at all. You can see he's just whacking away. He's not chasing any Buster William. Like none of these get past him here, despite doing a mountain of work. So forget the winning margin. He's still beating the rest of them. So happy to be on him. Eyes closed at the start. I think it's roughly, I had a quick look there before, 480. It's about the right price. So, and Jack Elijah about 380. So I think those two. If you want to have back a roughie on the card, probably in race, was it race 3 it might be? Yeah, like there's a couple off the front with undeniable claims here. Black Ops, there's that Flash Anatomy we just pointed out, might be one at odds as well. Punchinello, I actually backed it at Scottsdale. Just pinged to the front and had a gear failure and got retired from the race when it was a dead set home to the world at $5. So, they're obviously the two to beat. But there's one here, Thilston King. Never had a stand, never raced at Burnie. He's going to be big odds, I reckon he'll get close to $20. Only reason is that last start in Hobart, it's actually turned into a red hot form race like Harjeet, Plateau Diplomo. Ready to Fly's come out of it and won. Metro Digby's come out of it and won. Ran a close second behind a very good horse on Friday. Swap Me came out and ran a very good second. Stylish Trend came out and bolted in at Carrick. Thelston King ran 5th in that race. You can see they've gone 159 for the 2090. Like there's no Harjeets in this race. If he steps, he's going well enough to run a cheeky race. So what price have they got him here? Haven't actually looked. Yeah, $16. I think you want about $20 or so. But yeah, if you get that, well worth the investment. But anyway, guys, I might just wrap it up there. As I mentioned, don't go overboard. Just thought if anybody was just looking for a couple of interest bets later tonight, we'll settle on race 2, number 5, in Sign of a Time, and race 7, number 7, Union Force. But as I mentioned, you can also just, if you want to back 2 in both races, Jack Elijah, Union Force, and in the second, it's Sign of a Time. Layback Kenny says they may well win, but I'm just potting the 3-year-old filly form more than anything in that race. And the bolter is race 3, number 7, Thelston King. So anyway, guys, I might just wrap it up there, short and sweet. So yeah, might just keep pop a couple of these up each week. Not full previews, but just pick a couple out and give the method behind my madness. And so anyway, leave it there and chat to you later. Cheers.